want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below.
Well, I wanted to tell that story because the power dynamics are so important in a relationship, and especially if you're having a relationship with someone you work for.
Right.
And we all know the potential pitfalls. I worked for Bob Johnson for 10 years before we had a personal romantic relationship, and he was a mentor, and he pushed me, and he's responsible for a lot of my success. We did have a relationship while we were both married. We ended up both divorced, and then people knew about the relationship. The company knew, public, we started going places together. The downfall of a relationship like that is if you want to get out of it. And that's the part where it came, and I wanted to break up. I saw it wasn't a long-term relationship, and my job and my career was held over my head. And it was like, well, if you want to break up with me, then you can leave tomorrow. And that was, 20 years into my career at BET, so I would have lost everything.
Yeah.
I would have lost my career, my job, my ability maybe to get another job, because if I couldn't get a reference for the person I worked for 20 years, how do I explain that? And by that time, I was a single mother with 2 children. So it was a tough time, and I didn't have anyone to talk to about it because I didn't have female role models. There weren't a lot of women ahead of me. I was embarrassed to talk to my family about it. So it was a dark time, and what saved me was therapy. And eventually Bob left the company and I became CEO. And I was CEO for 13 years without him being there, and I was able
A lot of success.
Right, and
Yeah.
to live my dream, and without any form of harassment. So I guess after Me Too and Time's Up, I wanted women to know there's other kind of harassment. It's not all a man coming to the door in a robe.
So let me just reiterate a few things that I have a problem with, right? She stated originally, she was like, Bob Johnson, she had a relationship 10 years before they had a personal and a romantic relationship. She stated that he's responsible for a lot of my success, and that they had a relationship while both people are married. Notice that. Notice that. She said they both had a relationship with each other while they were both married, right? And then she said we ended up both divorced, and then people knew about the relationship. The company knew, and I guess the public knew, right? And then they started going to places with each other. And then she stated that the relationship wasn't that long, and now she was looking at her career being held directly over her head. And Bob Johnson had told her, like, hey, okay, well, if you want to end the relationship, then you are free to leave. That means both leave the relationship and also leave the company of which he was the head of, right? Because he is the one that has the power, correct? He is also the one that you sought and allowed yourself to have a relationship with, knowing the fact that you got kids and you're married, knowing the fact that he has kids and that he's married, knowing the fact that you guys would also be in a public eye. You allowed this, you pursued this as much as he did, right? And then she wanted to go into the victim blaming, where she was like, oh, I was a single mother. It was a tough time. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have any female role models. There weren't any women ahead of me. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me right now with the explaining of how it is that you're a victim in a situation that you willingly pursued just as much as he did. The only victims that are here are the spouses of both individuals, the children of both individuals. Those are the only victims here. It's crazy to this is what I be talking about when it comes to um a lot of women out here. This is why I can't take a lot of stuff serious. When they had like the Me Too and the times, this is why I can't take a lot of this stuff serious. Because you mean to tell me that out of all of this time that you were in the public eye with this dude, that you had a relationship, all of this other type of stuff going on, you want to now write a book and now you want to start talking about this? Are you broke? Are you out of I'm pretty sure that you got money. You should have fields of money because you became what did she say? I think she said she became like the president or whatever it was of BET because Bob Johnson left. So then she basically took over the role or whatever it was. Oh, I'm sorry, not the president. She stated that she was a CEO for 13 years without him being there. And that she was, and the other woman stated that she had a lot of success there and all this other type of stuff. And then she wanted to say that any form of harassment. So I guess after Me Too and time is up, I wanted women to know that there are other kinds of harassment too. No, there's not. You're not about to sit up here as from what I'm assuming, a black woman. You're not about to sit up here making all of this money, having literally a 20 plus year affair with your boss, and then you want to come up here some eons later talking about, oh, I was the victim in this. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, this is what I be talking about. You'll have a lot of women out here that will sit up here and get a leg up because they're seeking to go after somebody in power, which is usually the guy, and they'll sit up there and use their sexual charm or whatever it is that they got in order to sleep with this dude, in order to get closer with this dude, so that their position is secured over other women in the company. Because at the end of the day, women don't care about other women. It's all about them and what it is that they can get for themselves. Other women, y'all by yourselves. And I've been telling women this for the longest time. So, like I said before, she was having a relationship with Bob Johnson for like 20 years. So, which means that she was going up the ladder while other women who have been there, actually dedicated, working hard, never slept with anybody there, they're getting left at the bottom to be ignored because she slept her way to the top. And now she wants to sit up there and start crying and woe is me, I was a single mother and all this. You were single because you cheated. You had an affair. You had an affair. You weren't just a single mother just by chance. You had an affair with your boss. Any man in his right mind is going to sit up there and divorce you because you ain't worth nothing now. If you're willing to do this, you're willing to do other things, correct? Like I said, you didn't care about those kids or that kid. So I don't know why you listing being a single mother because you wasn't thinking about that when you was sleeping with your boss. You wasn't thinking about your husband when you were sleeping with your boss. You wasn't thinking about the sisterhood when you were sleeping with your boss. All those other women that you skipped directly over. You found a cheat code in order to get ahead, but now you want to tell other women, let me signal real quick. Oh, other women, there are other types of harassment. After the Me Too movement and the time is up. Your time is up because that's exactly why you sitting up here doing this. Ain't you're not even relevant. Nobody was talking about you. Nobody brought you up in conversations. A lot of people don't even know who you are, what you're even about. But you decided you decided to bring this up and to say this and to try to play a victim, but yet you're an independent black woman, single mother who made a lot of chances, who was the CEO of a company for 13 years, making money, bringing in the bag. So now you want to sit up there and start complaining and crying? What? Who? Oh my God. Like I said, I don't know what to tell y'all on this. This is a piece of work. This is 100%. This right here is a piece of work. I ain't never in my life seen some chicanery, some foolishness, some buffoonery such as this. And if they try to masquerade this woman as a victim on national TV and she's showing up on press junkets to show up this, oh my God. Like I said, there's going to be no hope. There is going to be no hope for men anywhere. Because at any moment in time, even if you are in a relate, this all this is telling me is that even if a woman by choice decides to get into a relationship with a man, no matter how the relationship goes, even if it's positive, she's still the victim some way, somehow. No matter how she profited off of the relationship, off of the initial, the initial connection, She's still a victim. She threw away her marriage for Bob Johnson. She threw away her marriage in order to get up in the corporate ladder. She threw away the sisterhood in order to get what it is that she wanted to get. But now she's calling on the same sisterhood she threw away in order to support her words and her book. If women fall for this, I promise you, y'all will fall for anything.